Hey, welcome back. This is part 2 of 2.4, The Indian Wars. Alright, so where we left off last time was talking about Manifest Destiny and the American dream of owning all the land from east to west, and how we're pushing the Native Americans out of their land, out of their territory, destroying the buffalo, forcing Native Americans onto reservations, and basically destroying the Native Americans' way of life. So we talked about the clashes, the Indian Wars from 1860 to 1890. We'll continue that this time. We talked about Wounded Knee. Not Wounded Knee, sorry. That's the one we're going to talk about. Sand Creek Massacre, where Black Kettle was going to negotiate peace treaty, and then they all got massacred by the Colorado Militia and the United States Army. Not a good deal. And then we going to force the Native Americans into either Oklahoma or Dakota territories. Alright, and now this is part 2. We're going to continue talking about the Plains Wars. So, first off, we're going to discover gold that we talked about. Gold in them there hills in Dakota. Well, this Dakota land was where we shipped the Native Americans. This Dakota land is sacred to the Sioux. And so, what are we going to do? So, the United States government wants to know how much gold's up there. So they send George Armstrong Custer up there to see exactly how much gold's up there. Well, Custer does not like the Native Americans one bit. So he's going to go up there. He's going to lie about it. He's going to say, there's gold everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's gold. The United States government's like, yeah, I like that. So let's buy the land for $6 million. And of course, the Sioux's like, no, this is land sacred to ours. We don't need your money. Get out of here. Right? But the United States government, we're going to do everything to get this land. Well, Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse have attacked settlers. And the United States like, we can't have this. And so they send Custer. They tell him to do whatever it takes to get this land. So Custer, being the, hater of Native Americans that he was, he's going to go into battle with 210 men, not waiting for backup, which he desperately needs, because he's going to ride into a group of 4,000 Sioux warriors. No, not just 4,000 Sioux, 4,000 Sioux warriors. And you know what happens? Yeah, you probably do. He gets killed. His whole regiment gets killed. The cavalry's destroyed. The United States Army gets just massacred. And this was called Custer's Last Stand. Alright, because that's what it was. Alright, so 7th Cavalry going to attack. Custer's going to ignore orders because he thinks he's all that. And he goes and attacks 4,000 Native American warriors. Not a chance. Not a chance. Alright, and this is the public reaction. What? These Native Americans just destroying, killing these innocent United States cavalrymen? How could they? Yeah, not so innocent. So, public opinion has turned a little bit from, what are we doing to these peaceful Native Americans? Is Manifest Destiny worth it to, let's take these savages down. They're killing our soldiers. And so, we're really kind of swaying back and forth between public opinion. So Custer, this is probably one of the most famous battles in all history because of the blunder, Custer's blunder, and going into battle unprepared, and he gets slaughtered, killed by Native Americans. Alright, there's the battle plan there. See Custer and his cavalry coming down. Not a chance against 4,000 Native Americans. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not in his wildest dreams. Then comes the final clash. Battle of Wounded Knee, 1890. Right? Many say that this was in retaliation for Little Bighorn. Right? And Wounded Knee, this is the last of it, 1890. This is when it ends. December of 1890 is the last Indian Wars. The last battle, last major conflict. It all started with this ghost dance. Okay? Now, what this ghost dance was this dance sweeping across the nation, in the Indian nation, And this dance was said to bring back the ancestors, to restore the buffalo, to restore the Native American way of life. And this scared the United States government because they thought that if this caught on, which it did, this could really change the mindset of Native Americans from, defeatism to, we're going to take it to them and we're going to get our land back. The United States was worried. We're scared. So what the United States do? The United States government bans the ghost dance. And what does the Sioux do? They do the ghost dance. And so the United States government had no choice to go there and tell them to stop the ghost dance. And if they didn't stop, well, consequences would follow. And sure enough, what happened was the Battle of Wounded Knee, a massacre of Native Americans, a slaughter of 200 Lakota men, killing of Chief Sitting Bull, slaughter of innocent women and children. This was the final shot, finally, that Wounded Knee, the final battle. So, 190 unarmed Native Americans were killed, and the war officially came to an end. Now, they fought viciously, they fought honorably for 30 years, but, without their life source, Native Americans weren't going to win this battle. Without their life source, the buffalo, Native Americans are not going to win. That's what happened. Right, another interesting story here, the Nez Perez, by Chief Joseph. He's going, one of his warriors shot and killed a soldier, so they, instead of, to avoid slaughter, they're going to march 1,500 miles to escape the United States Army. But you can't escape the United States Army. They eventually catch up to him, and Chief Joseph surrenders, saying, "I fight no more forever. I fight no more forever." He finally, he doesn't want to fight. He's not a fighter. And so you fight no more forever. It's done. It's over. We lost. We're going to have to assimilate. All right, there's the journey right there. A long journey through Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, all the way to Oregon. Right. And the final bit here was the Dawes Act. Remember, the United States government wanted to force the Native Americans onto reservations. That's what they really wanted. We're going to pigeonhole you into this land. We're going to take all the other land we want. And so, if we finally make a policy with the Dawes Act, we're going to break up the Native American nations. We're going to give them 160 acres of land. They live on there for 25 years, and you then will be granted citizenship. Now, this all sounds fine and dandy, but you got to take an effect. Native Americans, majority of them are nomadic. This is devastating for them. Forcing them, fencing them in on these reservations is not good. Not a good deal. And people such as Helen Hunt Jackson wrote A Century of Dishonor. This criticized the government's policy towards Native Americans. Many other people spoke out against this. Like I said, this is the black spot. One of the main black spots in American history. Our mistreatment of Native Americans from the very beginning, before we were even the United States, when we were just colonial property of England. We were mistreating Native Americans. And not until 1924 we gained citizenship. Yeah, the 14th Amendment supposed to grant citizenship to everybody. Like I said, though it didn't apply to Native Americans. That's because Native Americans didn't get citizenship until 1924. Some states didn't even allow them to vote until after World War II. Right? Franklin Roosevelt, he's going to finally, with his New Deal, right, we're going to finally end this assimilation, and we're going to allow them to, you know what, this isn't working. You can live, the way you should live on your reservations with your own laws. Alright, so, quick review. Part 2. Battle of Little Bighorn, Custer's Last Stand, 7th Cavalry Road to the Valley. 200 against 4,000. The 4,000 win. The United States Army was slaughtered. Plains Wars raged on. In the 1890 Battle of Wounded Knee. That happened because the ghost dance was forbidden. They did it anyways. Cavalry comes in and massacres hundreds of Native Americans. Dawes Act pushed the final nail in the coffin. which forces the Native Americans onto reservations despite their nomadic lifestyle. Alright, now a quick overview of this unit. 2.1, we talked about miners in the West, miners settling in the West. The Wild West being romanticized, idealized, making tall tales up, especially of making heroes of the villains. Actually, a lot different. Like I said, most stories tell. Conquest of the West destroyed many natural resources. Ideas of social mobility, economic mobility, they still continue today. Cattle drives, big business in the West. No railroad in the South. No way to get meat to the cities in the East. In the North, the cattle drives were born. Half of all the cowboys were either African American or Mexican. Cattle Kingdom stretched from Texas to Montana. Cattle industry died quicker than it started because of disease, drought, barbed wire, railroad. Clashes in the Southwest between Native Americans, not Native Americans, well, them too, but between the Americans and Hispanics. 2.3, the West quote American desert, Stephen Long, thought it was uninhabitable. Railroad companies got rich, granted land to settlers, advertised everywhere. Homestead Act, free, free, free land! $10 down payment and it lands free. You have to own it for 5 years. Well, they got this free land and many hardships occurred, and settlers tried to live out west. And new inventions, especially from John Deere, right, helped the farming be more productive, but also led to overproduction and competition from overseas hurt the industry. Right, Manifest Destiny cannot be stopped. Settlers in the government take lands belonging to Native Americans. Sand Creek Massacre. Chief Black Kettle goes in there. Well, he thought it was a negotiation, but it really turned out to be a massacre of Native Americans. Native Americans had to go to either one or two territories, Oklahoma or Dakota, battle Little Bighorn. Custer's last stand, 7th Cavalry rode in, 200 against 4,000, and the army was slaughtered. Plains Wars raids on, ending 1890 with Battle of Wounded Knee, where the Ghost Dance took place. U.S. 7th Cavalry massacred. Many people did not like this, the Hell Hunt Jackson, and her century of dishonor. And to end it, the Dawes Act. Government trying to force Native Americans on reservations. This did it. This did force them on reservations. This was the nail in the coffin for the Native Americans, ending the Indian Wars. And that is how the West was won. That is how the West was settled. We had your miners and cowboys, your farmers, your Indian Wars. And they're a big part with the railroads, but we'll get that in Unit 3 when we talk about industry. And so, until next time, it's Mr. Wiedemer, study history.